You are not audible, sir, as of now.
Can you see my slides?
Yes, yes, your slides are visible and you are audible.
Okay, thank you. Uh, Thank you, Anirban. As you all told, the subject is something different. Yes, it is different. But why should we discuss it? Electoral bonds. Firstly, we are all conscious citizens of this country, and we need to know everything that goes on, anything that affects the health of our country. As health activists, we should know how health sector is affected by the electoral bonds. Sorry, my slides are not booming. Yeah. There is an organization called Transparency International. Every year they do a corruption perception index. They score it from 0 to 100. 0 is highly corrupt, 100 is very clean. This index shows the perceived level of the public sector corruption in government. The 2023 index was, for India, we rank 93 out of 180 countries. Our score was 29 to 39 during various years. What does it show? It shows the abuse of the entrusted power for private gain. A power has been given to the legislative body, to the bureaucracy, but how that is abused, that power is abused for their private gain, for their individual gain, or for a gain of a group of people. When corruption occurs at high places, the scale and quantum of it is very high. तार परिमाण बहुत बड़ आकार रे हुए जेतेबेले भ्रष्टाचार ऊपर महला रे हुए हाई प्लेसेस व्हेन करप्शन टेक्स एट हाई प्लेसेस वेयर institution and people who are responsible for preventing corruption are themselves involved in corruption. जेतेबेले जो संस्था गुडी को यथा ईडी इलेक्शन कमिश्नर इनकम टैक्स एवं लेजिस्लेटिव ए माने समस्ते जेतेबेले इन्वॉल्व होती द स्टेट इज इन्वॉल्व इन करप्शन देन दैट टेक्स अ बिग शेयर जहाँ को सुप्रीम कोर्ट रो भाषा रे क्विड प्रो क्यो लैटिन रहला एटा क्विड प्रो क्यो माने समथिंग फॉर समथिंग अर्थात गिव एंड टेक यू गिव समथिंग एंड टेक समथिंग जाको कॉलोक्वियल भाषा रे कहंती चंदा का धंधा आमी जानू समझते वी ऑल नो how prevalent is corruption in our country, but what is more important is corruption in high places because the scale is very high in thousands of crores of rupees. Let us come to the political financing. How the elections are fought, where do the parties get their finance, or the paisa ase kautu? How politics is criminalized. We all know that the electoral bonds has now been scrapped by the Supreme Court. And electoral bonds came into existence in 2017. But what is the picture before that? And what will be the picture after it? Will corruption be eradicated? The nexus between the corporate houses and the political parties will stop. Let us see from the history During the independence movement, Indian National Congress was there. It was financed by the Birla and Tatas. They had their own interest in it. If India becomes independent, their business will prosper. After independence, especially during the period from 62 to 68, there were two main parties in the central arena, Congress and Swatantra Party. Tatas and Birlas, they gave 30 donation to these parties, and total funding, the political funding, 34% was from the Tatas and Birlas. Then in 1969, Indira Gandhi banned corporate funding. Sure. 1969, Indira Gandhi banned corporate funding to the political parties. What was the intention? Was it a good intention? No. What she wanted was that Swatantra Party should not get any electoral funds. The funding of the Swatantra Party, it should be choked. So that, but Congress can get, not by the by different means, because they were in power. And the briefcase, it was known as the briefcase politics, and license was there. For every license, you have to give money to the political parties. Again, in 1985, when Rajiv Gandhi was the prime minister, they lifted this ban. The ban of corporate funding means the corporates can fund the political parties. But once again, there will be no tax benefit to the corporates. So again, the corporates, they stopped funding the political parties because they will not get tax benefit on the donation they make to the political parties. From 1990 onwards, criminalization of politics started in a large scale. Criminals came into politics. That is called Bahubalis. 2013, it was during the Vajpayee period. Corporate funding, or the donation by the corporates to the political parties, the previous limit was they can donate 5% of the average profit of the last 3 years to a political party. This donation limit was raised to 7.5%. In 2013 itself, electoral trusts were created. These trusts exist till today. There are 18 electoral trusts. Corporates can fund these electoral trusts. These electoral trusts give donation to the political parties. This is the rise in corporate donations from 2004 to 2017. Previous to 2018, this shows the corporate donation to the national parties like BJP, Indian National Congress, NCP, CPI, and CPM. What are the election expenses? What amount of money are spent during the elections? The 2019 general election, the data shows around 55 to 60,000 crores rupees were spent in the general election. And it is expected that this is 2024, not 2014. This amount will double in the present election, almost 120,000 crores. 2019 general election was the costliest elections in the world. And out of the 60,000 crores, BJP alone spent around 30,000 crores. Director General of CMS says this amount, 60,000 crores, is only the tip of the iceberg, because this calculation is based on the front-end cost and expenses that are traceable. There are many expenses those political parties do which is not traceable. Election Commission of India remained a silent spectator to this corporate funding. What is the sanctity of this institution? No party was issued ever a warning or reprimanded for such spendings. What is the rule? How much a member of parliament or a candidate for a MP can spend? This is from 75 to 95 lakhs. In some states, it is 75 lakhs. In some states, it is 95 lakhs. In other states, it is in between. One more catch is here. This amount is audited by the election commissioner, how much one spends. But there is one catch. The expenses of the candidate is only audited by the election commissioner. But the expense that is made by the party for the candidate, there is no upper limit for it. The election commissioner never audits these expenses. This is the expenses in the Lok Sabha elections since 1998, how it is slowly increasing. 2014 to 2019, it has doubled. It was 30,000 crores in 2014. It is now 2019, it is 60,000 crores. And 2024, it is predicted that it will be double the amount. S.A. Qureshi, former Chief Election Commissioner, he says, even though the horrors of money are obvious, why will they legislate in their own self-interest till sufficient advocacy on the ground pushes for it? They get money, the political parties get money from the corporates, and it is their interest. Why will they change it? We cannot expect to see the next election any better than the 2019 in terms of freeness, fairness, and transparency. If the rising tide of criminalization of politics and overreaching influence of money in politics is stemmed. Let us go to the electoral bonds. How it started? It started with the funding of the election. They say that we spend so much of amount in elections. Where from them we will get the money? In 2017, when Arun Jaitley was the finance minister, they came up with a money bill. The electoral bond came as a money bill because the BJP did not have a majority in the Rajya Sabha. If it comes as a money bill, then it can be passed in the Lok Sabha, where they had the majority. So this important bill was passed in 30 minutes. There were some 200 odd amendments, but without any detailed discussion, this bill was passed. What are the important amendments they made in the Constitution? They made Income Tax Act, Companies Act, Representative of People's Act, and RBI Act. Previously, foreign companies were prohibited from donating to political parties in India. But this was amended by this 2017 bill. It said that foreign companies having some subsidiaries within India can donate to the political parties. There is an entity called Vedanta something, which is based on outside India, but it has subsidiaries in India. So that entity could donate to the political parties, which was not there previously. Then they said that it will be anonymous, means nobody will know who gives the money and to whom it gives. This is actually not anonymous. We will see how it is not anonymous. Previously, what was the system? Any donation made to a political party, more than 2,000, 20,000, has to be made by a check. Again, there was also a catch in that. Somebody wants to give 1 lakh. He will make it 20,000, 5 times he will give. But that limit of 20,000 was abolished by this bill. Then, these bonds were issued by the State Bank of India. The government allowed the scheduled bank like State Bank of India to issue these bonds. Previously, it was the RBI only which can issue any bonds. But this bill amended that and allowed the scheduled banks like SBI to only SBI to issue the electoral bonds. What else was done? Exempted political parties to keep record of parties donating. किए पैसा देला बा किए को पार्टी को कॉर्पोरेट पैसा देला तार रेकॉर्ड किसी रखिया दरकार नहीं. Political parties need not keep record of the parties donating. Again, there was a rule that a company can donate. What is the maximum limit a company can donate to a political party? There was a ceiling that average profit of the last 3 years, 7.5% only can be donated. But this was abolished by the 2017 money bill. Means a company which is going on losses also can make a donation to the political party, and there is no limit to it. And there are many examples we see now when the data came into limelight. Loss-making companies giving donation to the political parties. And this encouraged the shell companies, loss-making companies, and foreign entities to donate to the political parties. When this bill came into existence, the first red flag was given by the Election Commission of India and RBI. What did they say? It will seriously impact the transparency aspect of political finance. Means who is donating the money to which party? The voters have the right to know. But this bill abolished that right. And political funding of original buyer may not be the actual contributor. The one who buys the bond, he may not be the actual contributor. He may be buying on behalf of somebody else. Then RBI said there will be multiple non-sovereign entities. माने विदेश रे रहुतवा non-sovereign entities एमती बहुत कुटे रहित पारती. Those may issue these bonds. And they say that it is a retrograde step towards transparency. जो प्रथमे जो ट्रांसपेरेंसी थिला बा जो वोटर्स को राइट थिला बा आरटीआई रे जोने डाटा मांगी पारथला. Now they cannot ask for that. The transparency will be lost. This will be opaque one. This will facilitate money laundering. And the policies of the government may be influenced by the foreign corporates. The foreign corporates who donate huge amounts can also change the policies of the government. There will be many shell companies or fake companies who will donate. The total amount since 2018 is around 16,518 crores. And who got this amount? All the major parties are involved in it. That's why we do not get a involvement, or this topic is not discussed widely by the major political parties. And the major media houses are either mild or silent on the issues. It is the civil society which has done a lot of work on the issue. Analysis on electoral bonds. This is the electoral bond. a sample of the electoral bond. This is issued by the State Bank of India. Anyone can go to the State Bank of India, a corporate or an individual can buy the electoral bonds. They are in different denomination, 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, so on. And once the corporate entity buys this, then they give it to the political party. Who will give it? The corporate entity will give it. Then how the political party will not know who gives the electoral bonds to them? They know very well who has given it. And again, if you put an ultraviolet light on this electoral bond, there is a hidden number here. That number can be seen. This gives an advantage to the party in power in the center, because they can know from the SBI who has purchased this electoral bond, because SBI keeps a KYC of the person or the corporate who buys these bonds. So there is no anonymity. The party in power knows who is giving it. The party that is getting the electoral bonds knows who is giving them. The first party to declare from whom they got these bonds was the DMK. Then when DMK knows, every other political party knows from where they got these bonds. The next question comes is, why should a corporate give such donations to the political party? That's what the Supreme Court said when scrapping these bonds. This Supreme Court has scrapped these bonds. On 15 February 2024, the Supreme Court said that these bonds are illegal, unconstitutional, absolute anonymity, manifestly arbitrary. There is no anonymity. It violates the RTI Act. Voters' right to know political funding. Every voter has the right to know where from a political party gets its funding. So there is no transparency in political funding. And it further said, this leads to quid pro quo, something for something. They donate to get something, to get some benefit, or else why should they donate such amounts to you? And this promotes corruption. Corporates and political parties in nexus, they are in nexus. This causes unrestrained influence of corporates in electoral process. The corporates have influence in the electoral process and policy making. This shows what percentage of electoral bonds went to which party. BJP got the major chunk. Then comes Indian National Congress, TMC, BRS, Biju Janata Dal, DMK. Let us see in Odisha how fair is our government, BJD. Electoral bonds, 90%, they got around 944.5 crores, almost 1,000 crores in 6 years from different entities. These are the entities: SL Mining, Grasim Industries, JSPL, Rungta Sons, Jindal Steel, Rasmi Group, Rasmi Metallic, SN Mahanti, Vedanta. All these are, 90% of them are mining and steel companies. Now, coming to our main topic, healthcare and electoral bonds. How the corporates in health sector were involved in these electoral bonds, and how it is going to affect us, our health, the health of the nation. There are about 40 companies, healthcare companies in the health sector. They gave around 1,000 crores as electoral bonds to different political parties. And the maximum was by Yasoda Super Speciality Hospital, 162 crores. We will come to that. Then if you see the names of these companies, these are all renowned companies in India, and they manufacture some of the life-saving drugs like Dr. Reddy, 80 crores, Torrent 7 crores, Natco 69 crores, Cipla 39, Divislal 55 crores, Bharat Biotech 10 crores, Biological Events 5 crores, Aravinda Pharma 50 crores, Mankind 24.6 crores. The case of Aravinda Pharma is something different. One of the directors of Aravinda Pharma, Mr. Reddy, was arrested being involved in the Delhi liquor scam. And after some time, he becomes an approver and he was released from the jail. And 5 days after his release, Aravinda Pharma gives 5 crores as electoral bonds to BJP. Again, the total amount given is 50 crores. These are the companies who gave and to whom. Yashoda Super Speciality Hospital is a hospital in Hyderabad. It is a multi-chain hospital. It brought electoral bonds worth 162 crores. And the main funding of it is to BRS, the party who was in power in Telangana at that time. This chain of hospital is in Hyderabad, mainly in Hyderabad and Telangana. So they gave the major donation to BRS, then to Indian National Congress, and AAP even have given some amount to the BJP and to all these parties. Then Dr. Reddy's laboratory purchased 84 crores in bonds, donating to BRS, Telugu Desam, BJP, ANC, and Shiv Sena. Micro Labs, 16 crore, supporting Sikkim Krantikari Morcha, Indian National Congress, BJP. Why did they pay to Sikkim Krantikari Morcha? This will be a question to everybody may have a doubt on this. For your information, Sikkim is going to the next pharma hub, and Microlab has manufacturing unit in Sikkim. We will come to that. Why these companies are donating to the local parties, means parties in power in the states. Cipla donated 41 crores to BJP and Indian National Congress. Zydus Healthcare, 29 crores, largely went to BJP. Glenmark Pharma allocated 9.7 crores between BJP and Indian National Congress. Bharat Biotech gave it to Telugu Desam Party. Divislal to BJP, and the list goes on. This has something to do with the income tax rates for some of these companies. We will see the chronology. For Yashoda Hospital, the case was a bit different. Yashoda Hospital, the proprietors of the Yashoda Hospital were related to the then government in Telangana, the BRS government. So they gave most of the amount to the BRS, to Indian National Congress. They gave 94 crores to BRS, 64 crore to Indian National Congress, BJP 2 crores, AAP 1 crore, YSR Congress 1 crore. Total they gave 160 crores. And it is said that they gave this money because of the land scam. This hospital got the land from Telangana government at a very cheap rate. There is a loss of around 300 crores to the Telangana government. Now coming to Hetero Pharma. There was an IT raid on Hetero Pharma. and there was unaccounted income of 550 crores. And the IT department seized 142 crores in cash. This occurred in October 6th of 2021. See the chronology. The IT raid is there. Then in April 22, they donate 20 crores. This hetero group in total donates 55 crores. Same thing happens with Divis Lab. Tax raid on 2019. By 2023, they gave 55 crores as bonds. Microlab, tax raid in July 22. In 60 offices of Microlab, they donated 16 crores. MSN, February 21, IT rate, unaccounted money of 400 crores, case of 1.6 crore. In April 22, they gave an electoral bond of 20 crores. In January, they get a license to manufacture Molnupiravir, a drug for COVID-19, which was to be distributed in 105 countries. And they gave a donation of 6 crores in November 23. Same case with Mankind, IT rate. Then they gave a bond of electoral bonds of 24 crores. Another important thing is the low quality drugs. These corporates, they play with the lives of the people. And now the politicians are a part of it. What is the rule to detect low quality drugs? Every state has a Food and Drug Administration. Their duty is to do a periodic checkup of every batch of medicine to see whether they have the standard quality or not. But any state can do it. But any state cannot give punitive action or cannot punish the company. The state which has the manufacturing facility only can give punitive action. That means, suppose Torrent Pharma, if tomorrow Odisha Food and Drug Controller, not administrator, Food and Drug Controller finds a drug to be of low quality of Torrent Pharma, Odisha Food and Drug cannot take action against Torrent Pharma. Torrent Pharma's manufacturing unit is in Gujarat. The Gujarat government can only take action against the Food and Drug Commissioner of Gujarat can only take action against it. There are at least 7 companies which have been found to have low quality drugs, and they have donated money to the political parties. Hetero Pharma, you know about remdesivir. 3 times it was found to be of low quality. It were a antifungal agent, monosaf, an antibiotic. They were all of low quality. Torrent Pharma for Deplat 150, which is used for cardiovascular diseases. Losarach and Nicoran IV. Zydus Healthcare for remdesivir. Glenmark for Telma. All these are very reputed companies in the field of medicine. Cipla for again remdesivir and RC cough syrup. Ipca Laboratories for Lariago. Intas for enalapril. NATCO, USA FDA had inspected NATCO facilities in August 19. There were many deficiencies. NATCO bought 32 crores of electoral bonds. This chronology shows there is a money trail, and no punitive action has been taken by the respecting Food and Drug commissioners of the states where the manufacturing unit is there. And this is done at the cost of the lives of the people. What will happen if, if a medicine is of low quality? The medicines will not work. There will be even there will be side effects. Mortality can increase. Morbidity can increase. The treatment can be long, and long treatment, especially in case of antibiotics, can lead to resistance. The most important thing for for us, we are physicians. The credibility of the physician is lost because the medicines we prescribe that won't work, and the patient will think that it is not the medicines but the doctor who is at fault. The story of remdesivir. Let us see the chronology. November 2020, WHO had a large study about 14,000 patients in 400 hospitals in 30 countries. The report of WHO was that remdesivir is not effective in COVID-19. For a moment, let us forget that this statement of WHO. Then in April 2021, Government of India gives license to manufacture 7 companies to manufacture remdesivir. Who will buy this remdesivir? The states will buy, because it was at that time the states was taking all the responsibility of COVID medicines. Though the states of the each state will buy, but where from the money that comes from, that is from our own taxes. The taxes we pay. From a report by the Live Mint in May 2021, many hospitals in UP reported that the remdesivir manufactured by Zydus Cadila has many side effects. The same report came from Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Bihar. And these reports are mainly from the hospitals, from the doctors. But the state regulators of these states, except Bihar, did not do anything. Bihar regulator sent this medicine, remdesivir of Zydus Cadila, for a test, and it came out to be contaminated with bacterial endotoxin. Bihar regulator intimates the Gujarat regulator, but the action had to be taken by the Gujarat regulator because Zydus Cadila's manufacturing unit is based in Gujarat. No action was taken by the Gujarat regulator. And Zydus Cadila buys electoral bonds, gives to BJP 10 crore. The government in Gujarat was the BJP government. 3 crore to Indian National Congress, because in Rajasthan, the state government was Indian National Congress, and 5 crores to SKM, Sikkim party, Sikkim Kranti Morcha, because they have a unit in Sikkim. Same thing, Glenmark, 5 notices were sent in 22-23 for the low quality of drugs. Torrent for Diplat, Maharashtra FDC first noted that in 2018, US FDA, they have given bonds 61 crores to BJP. Same thing happens with Cipla. Forsaw got this notice with for cough syrup. Same thing with Hetero Pharma. This is a cartoon where it says, Gupta ji, मैं अपनी नकली दवा महंगे दाम में परदेश में कैसे बेचूं? He advises that electoral bond खरीद लीजिए. Then everything will be legalized. This is not part of the electoral bonds, but for our knowledge, how corruption is rampant, we should know about this. The cough syrup tragedy. In 2022, Uzbekistan reported 18 children died consuming cough syrup that were manufactured in India and marketed in Uzbekistan. And it was found that it was contaminated with ethylene glycol. The cough syrups usually have propylene glycol, but instead of propylene glycol, there was ethylene glycol contamination. There was a case in Uzbekistan, 23 people were imprisoned, most of them from Uzbekistan, and one from India. Who was manufacturing this cough syrup? A UP company called Barion Biotech, Maiden Pharma, and Raymond Labs, marketed by Coremax Medical. And the tragedy is that this company was only closed temporarily for a few months. Again, it was allowed to operate in October 23. The same thing happened in Gambia and Cameroon. Cough syrup tragedy. Many children died. Even in India, in September 23, in Udhampur, 12 children died. Again, diethylene glycol contamination, and no action was taken. Cough syrup of 54 companies were found below standard. One recent amendment, how the punishment for low quality drugs has been diluted by a recent bill. There is an act called Drugs and Cosmetics Act of 1940, which deals with adulterated, spurious, and not of standard quality drugs, NSD drugs, not of standard quality drugs. Previously, the punishment for it was 2 years jail. In August 2023, a bill came, Jana Vishwas Bill. 42 laws were amended in the name of ease of doing business. And what happened? If light punishment for violation of the low quality drugs, imprisonment was abolished, a fine was just imposed, fine instead of imprisonment. Activists say that it was the pressure of the pharma lobby, or the funding of the pharma lobby, or nexus of the pharma lobby that forced the government to come up with a dilution of the punishment in the name of decriminalization of minor offense. This is not a minor offense. Low quality drug is not a minor offense. It related with the lives of people. You're playing with the lives of people. Now, there is a quid pro quo between the political parties and the pharma companies or the health sector. What benefits do the pharma companies or the hospitals, the big hospital, the tertiary hospital, the corporate hospital do get so that they give such donation to the political parties? It is not simply the IT raid or the low quality drugs. They get cheap or subsidized land at prime locations. If you look at Odisha, we can see all these hospitals, big hospitals have got cheap or subsidized land at prime location. There is a condition that they should treat 15 or 25% poor patients, but they never do it, and the government never checks it. The license for manufacturing is provided by the state food and drugs controller. Then they get subsidized electricity, subsidized water, bank loan. Then the price cap of the drugs are removed. There is a price cap of drugs, at what price the drugs should be sold. If you go back in 2022, there was a price rise of around 10%, and in 23 it was 12%. Then they get tax exemption in various ways, and they get huge profit from these things. So these electoral bonds, there was corruption beforehand, there will be corruption also after these electoral bonds. But what the electoral bonds exposed was the legalized nexus. The corruption that was going behind the doors became legalized by the present government at the cost of the common man, at the cost of the revenue we pay, at the cost of price rise, at the cost of the life of the people. And this is only a tip of the iceberg. Will this unholy nexus end with the scrapping of EB, electoral bonds? No, it won't stop. But by the act of Supreme Court, we could know to what extent or to what scale this corruption is taking place and who are behind it. And we can correlate from chronology what is happening. The nexus between corporates and parties in power. This is the feature of the crony capitalism that will go on at the cost of the lives of the people. This all goes at whose cost? It is the cost of the common man. This can be checked only by people's health movement. That is the only solution. Uh, with this, I conclude. Thank you all for your patient hearing.